everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a very highly requested subject. I get questions about this all the time. It's how to maintain your highlights and how I basically take care of my curls because I do have highlights. I've gotten highlights 3 times. So I'm going to go through all your questions. I asked you to send in your questions on Instagram and I have all my favorite curly hair products and everything here. So we're going to go over everything that you all asked me. First question. Your favorite product for curly hair. So I have a lot of favorite products. In terms of styling, I think my top favorite ones, this is the Bounce Curl Light Cream Gel. I've repurchased this like 3 or 4 times. I love this one. It's one of my favorite gels. The Rizzo's Curl Defining Cream is my favorite cream at the moment. It smells like a tropical vacation and you can get it at Target, so it's amazing. I think one of my most favorite curly hair products that I feel like is very underrated is mousse. So this is one of my favorite mousses. The Eva NYC Made Magic 10-in-1 styling mousse is amazing. And then I also really love the Aussie Sprunch leave-in conditioner mousse. This one is amazing and this is so cheap too. You can get it at Target, CVS, like wherever, and this is only like $3 or $4 I think. And then Aussie has another mousse. It's called the Headstrong Volume Mousse and I've already repurchased that quite a few times as well. But I broke my last one and I'm basically running out of it, so I have to go buy another one. But I can't right now because, you know, quarantine. So yeah, the 2 Aussie mousses are honestly some of my favorites and they're very affordable, so I highly recommend them. Okay, second question. Tips on extending wash days and dealing with an oily scalp. If my hair really needs a wash, then I will wash it. I'm not really the biggest fan of refreshing because I feel like it just causes more frizz sometimes. If you're dealing with an oily scalp, it's probably dehydrated and it's like overworking to produce more oil. So I would suggest doing a scalp treatment. This is the only scalp treatment that I've used and it's one of my favorites. It's by the Innate Life. It's a blend of multiple different oils and I'll show you the consistency. It looks like this, so it's like kind of thick, but it smells super minty and it just like really feels good on your scalp. So I think massaging this in really helps and it also soothes if you have like a very itchy scalp as well. I think just refreshing. I like to refresh with either like a cream or something like the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle because it's kind of like a jelly, so it's going to provide hold but also give you moisture. But in terms of like creams that I like to refresh with, I actually really like to refresh with this because it gives you nice moisture, so I like that. This is good if you want to use a spray. It's also by Rizzo's Curls. It's the Refreshing Detangling Spray. It smells the same as the cream, so I'm obsessed with this one too. And then actually to refresh, I love using this mousse. So this is mainly what I actually refresh with. It's the Aussie mousse, so I use it to style and refresh. But because this one has a leave-in conditioner in it as well, it doesn't really make your hair crunchy. So this is really good if you just want to wet your hair a little bit and then scrunch it in. It just helps bring back curl definition. It doesn't leave your hair crunchy, so it helps a lot. Third question, does it dry out your curls? Did you have to start a little at a time to get the color you have? I'm not going to say it doesn't dry out your curls because obviously dyeing your hair does dry out your curls, but I think it's important to go to a colorist who is knowledgeable about curly hair and understands the way curly hair works. So it's going to be less damaging, but it's still going to dry out your hair, so you are going to have to take care of it even more than you were taking care of it before. Did you start a little at a time to get the color you have? Yes, so I dyed my hair 3 times. I dyed it the first time, it was like a brown, but it was like a bronze kind of color. I didn't want any blonde. And then the second time that I dyed it, I went to a different lady and she put blonde in my hair when I didn't want any blonde, and I feel like that was more damaging to it. So then I went back to the lady that I went to before and I went to her and then she fixed my hair. So I'll put pictures of the first time I went, the second time I went, and then the last time I went is this, but I'll put a picture of it like freshly washed. I never know what products to buy for my curls and how to style them. Please help. So I think it really depends on what type of hair you have. So I'll have to make a whole other video for this, but I think just the basics in styling your hair is like there's creams, there's gels, and then there's mousses. So I think it just depends, like it's a lot of trial and error with curly hair. You kind of just have to figure out what works best for your hair. Like for me, I realized that I love my hair when I use a cream and a mousse because I get that moisture and that volume, but I have a finer texture hair. So if you have similar hair to me, then I would try that out. So I mentioned my favorite mousses, so it's just a lot of trial and error. So you just gotta buy a bunch of products and then maybe return them if they don't work for you. But it took me like a really long time to figure out what works. Like I'm still using product combinations that sometimes I love and sometimes I hate and they don't turn out well on my hair. So it really is just like experimenting, and that's like basically how I got to know what my curls like. Do you know any great affordable curly hair products? Yes, Aussie has amazing affordable curly hair products. The Eva NYC products that I showed you are not too pricey. I think they're like $16 each or something like that. They're under $20. Verb has really good products that I think are each $16 as well. I really like those. There are other drugstore ones that I've heard of that I haven't tried. I've tried Maui Moisture and that's really good. Honestly, like Target or CVS has a lot of good options and they're very affordable. So I recommend looking at those stores and looking on those sites and seeing if you have anything of interest. What you ask for at the salon. So in terms of my hair color, I kind of go in with photos. I think that's like the most important part. So I just have different photos that I like and of different curly girls, and I save that and then I'll go into the hair salon and show her. But you have to like keep in mind that obviously your hair isn't the same as the person that you're showing them. So it's not gonna turn out like exactly the same, but I'll go ahead and show you some photos that I've showed in the past. For what I have right now, I really wanted like a bronze color, so I kind of showed her like this color hair. I don't know, hopefully it's focusing. I showed her this Mains by Mel, one of my favorites, because I like the way that it's darker at the top. So it really just depends. I would highly recommend looking through different curly hair girls, like looking at them on Pinterest and then deciding what you like. Like this one was one that I really love too for her color. So I think it really just depends, but know that your hair is not going to turn out exactly like the person that you're showing, because obviously your hair is different than that person, most likely. How you maintain healthy hair after bleaching it. I think it's just really important to use more moisturizing products, especially deep conditioning. I'll show you some of my favorite deep conditioners. So this Curlsmith one is one of my favorites. It's kind of more of a recent launch, the Hydro Cream Soothing Mask. This one's more for like scalp care, but it still makes my hair super soft. This Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Hair Mask is super popular, and I really love this one because I think it has biotin in it, and I think it has a little bit of protein as well. So I think this one works really well. I think protein's really important when you dye your hair because you need that protein to get your curl bounce back up, which is why I love the Olaplex #3. My hair, when I use this, I could see the biggest difference in my hair. So it's like a pre-shower treatment. So you wet your hair before you shower, and then I always brush through when it's in to make sure that it's distributed on each of my hair strands, and then I just leave it in for at least 30 minutes, but you can like leave it in for as long as you want. Some people sleep with it overnight, and then you'll go to the shower and wash it out, and then it makes such a huge difference. My curls are so much more bouncy and tighter after I use that. What are some tips that you found that actually prevent, manage damage and dryness? So like I said, for sure deep conditioning, for sure some treatments, and then just using more moisturizing products that actually moisturize your hair so that you can see the difference. So the creams that I mentioned before and the deep conditioners and the Olaplex are my biggest secrets. Troubleshooting. How do you know what's what? Your hair routine and how you know it's the best for you. Choice of products and amounts. So I know like a ton of people are asking this question, but like I mentioned, it's really just trial and error. I mean, I have a ton of products that I've tried and I watch a ton of tutorials and videos myself. So it really is just like experimenting and seeing what works for your hair. Do you use Olaplex? Yes, I do use Olaplex. I love this one, the treatment that I showed you, #3. It is pricey, but it works wonders. And then I also use the conditioner from time to time as well, which I also really love. How to deal with fluffy, natural curly hair and lock in moisture. So for sure, the creams that I mentioned and deep conditioning. Fluffy hair, I feel like comes from not having enough hold. So you want to make sure that you use a product that is a lot of hold as well, but definitely use a product that gives you moisture in addition to that hold. So cocktailing like a cream and a gel, a cream and a mousse, whatever works for you. Do you deep condition your hair, and if so, what brands do you recommend? Yes, I deep condition. I try to deep condition at least once a week. And the Briogeo mask, the Curlsmith mask, Maui Moisture has one that I ran out of. It is called like, it's in like a dark purple one, and that one's really good and really affordable as well. I also really love the Aussie 3-Minute Miracle deep conditioner. That one's amazing too. How long do you wait between highlight sessions? So I try to wait as long as I can. Again, like if you have, like see my hair is growing out, and I think it's only been a few months since I've gotten it, so I'm definitely gonna go back once quarantine's over. But I say at least, I feel like at least a month. I feel like a month is a little bit like pushing it. Like you should wait probably 2 to 3 months before getting your hair redone. But again, like it really depends on your hair and how healthy it is and how much it can take. If you're like just doing a touch-up route, then I feel like it's fine. But if you want to change your entire hair color, I think you should wait at least like 3 months. But it really depends. I think you should work with your colorist or your stylist and see what she recommends, because I feel like they know your hair too, since they work with it so well. Since they work with it so much. What shampoo do you use so your hair doesn't turn orange? I don't really use a toning shampoo as often as I probably should, but I have used the Fanola Blue, the Fanola Blue shampoo. It's in like a blue and orange bottle, and that one's pretty good too, but I don't really use like orange shampoo or anything like that. I kind of just tone my hair whenever it needs to. Hair products for styling, please, in the order and how you use. I usually use a cream and a mousse, and I always use a cream first, or I'll use like a leave-in conditioner, a cream and a mousse, or a leave-in conditioner, cream and gel, or just a cream and a gel. It really depends on how my hair is feeling that day. Like I said, I do have a finer hair texture. Try not to overload with moisture, because I feel like my hair needs more hold than moisture. Hair growth tips, please. I don't really have any hair growth tips. I kind of just let my hair do its thing, and then it grows when you're not really paying attention to it, I feel. But I know a lot of people do like scalp massages, they do scalp treatments, which I feel like really helps. But I feel like the less you're paying attention to it, the more your hair will grow. And I also sometimes put an oil on my ends, which helps as well. But I think in general, like my hair grows really fast. So again, it really depends on your hair. I have a curly hair with a natural black color. I want to go for highlights, but I'm a little afraid of hair fallout. Also afraid, what if highlights don't suit me after I get them done? So I was afraid that they wouldn't suit me either, because I'll post a picture of my natural hair here, and my hair was super, super dark as well. But I think that if you go to the right person and you have the right photos, and you have like the right idea and you do your research, then you will be fine. As long as your stylist and your colorist knows what you want and kind of like the vibe that you want, you will be fine. Yeah, don't worry about that, because it'll probably take some getting used to, but I don't really ever want to go back to my natural dark hair. Hi! Just got a foster dog, and she's like super, super attached to me. Come here. I want to show you all her. She's so cute. Ugh. She's so cute. You want to sit on me? Let's see if she'll sit on me while I'm reading some questions. In terms of hair fallout, I think as long as you're taking care of your hair, it won't fall out as much as you think it will. But definitely make sure that your hair is in a healthy state before you go and dye it, because it is damaging, like I mentioned before. Did you progressively add more highlights, or was it all done in one sitting? Yes, so I've done it 3 times like I mentioned, and then I'll put the hair pictures again so you can see. Does highlighting curly hair damage the curls or take away from the curl pattern? Yes, I mean, it really depends on who you go to and how you style your hair, because honestly, if you go to somebody who doesn't really work with curly hair and they don't know how curly hair works, then yes, it can definitely damage your hair and your curls. So just be careful and do your research and go to somebody that you trust, and go to somebody that is like a little bit more well known, only because I feel like they've worked so much with curly hair that they're very experienced. You okay? Just a cough? Just a cough. It's okay. Has it changed your hair routine? What are some cons or things to be aware of? So yes, dyeing my hair has definitely changed my hair routine. This is a great question. I feel like I definitely need a lot more moisture than I did before. Before, like, I didn't really deep condition and I didn't really use any creams at all because it would weigh my hair down. And now I feel like I need the moisture because my hair will just get dry after like 2 days. But definitely some creams that didn't work for me before, I find that they are working for me now. And now I have to deep condition at least 1 to 2 times a week. And before, like I said, I didn't. So I think it really depends. Like, it's definitely a little more high maintenance. So if you don't have the time or you're kind of lazy with doing your hair, then I wouldn't really recommend getting highlights because it is a lot of upkeep. But if you're willing to do the extra work, then definitely get it. So that's just one piece of advice that I have. So it's up to you whether you want to get it or not. Obviously, it's your hair, but definitely be ready to deal with the upkeep that comes with it. Should I be using purple shampoo for my balayage curly hair? If so, which one is best for it? A lot of them dry my hair out and make it feel horrible. So I don't really use it again, but I have used it in the past, and I know that sometimes it can dry your hair out. That's why I really like the Fanola one. They actually have purple shampoos and purple conditioners as well. So maybe you try a purple conditioner if it's drying out, if you find that shampoo is drying out your hair. And then I know that Eva NYC also has a purple shampoo and purple conditioner that I heard is very, very good as well. Also, Verb recently came out with a purple hair mask, and I love their products too. And that one's supposed to be very, very moisturizing. Mains by Mel uses that one, so if you want a review on that, then go check it out on her channel because she is amazing, and I honestly learn a lot of hair tips from her too. Which color did they use on your hair? It looks so good and blends so well with your roots. Thank you. So I told them that I wanted to do more of a caramel or like a light brown. I don't like blonde in my hair. I know there's some blonde pieces, but that's just because it is growing out from the past. But again, I showed them photos. I showed them kind of like the color that I was looking for, and then of course, like depending on your natural hair color, I feel like your stylist should like customize the hair color and blend it in with your natural hair color so that it looks the most natural and it meshes the best. Has the pattern of your curls been affected, and if not, what have you been doing to make sure your curls don't get damaged? So like I mentioned, I think that my hair has gotten a little bit damaged, but I'm pretty sure it's from the second time that I did it. It's not from the first or third time that I did it because that colorist was really, really good. But I haven't really noticed too much damage. It's very minimal. It's just a little bit more frizz. That's another thing I forgot to mention is get ready for more frizz to show, because I feel like when your hair is darker, you don't notice the frizz as much as when your hair is lighter. So just get ready to refresh more and get ready to take care of your hair more. And then what have I been doing to make sure they don't get damaged? The Olaplex helps a lot, the deep conditioning, and then putting more moisture into my routine as well. So I might need to use more products when styling now because I feel like my hair is just a lot more high maintenance, but it really does help and it really works for me. So those are all the questions that you all asked me. If you have any additional questions, then leave them down below and I will do my best to respond and get to them. I don't think I'm a curly hair expert by any means. Like, I'm not a curly hair stylist at all. This is just my experience and what has worked for me. Other than that, please follow me on Instagram. I'm way more active there. I post a lot more and I answer a lot more questions, and I really like interact with my followers. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Feel free to comment them down below, or feel free to just comment on any of my photos, whatever you're more comfortable with, and I promise I'll get to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other video ideas, as usual, please let me know. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.